It's only homeschooling. In our homeschool, we have a motto: education is a journey, not a destination. So relax, it's only homeschooling. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of the podcast. My name is Kimberly Bennett, and I am your host. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for giving us a listen. A little bit about me. I am a licensed professional counselor turned homeschool mom of one. I am also an advocate for homeschooling children with learning differences. For more of my story and background, feel free to listen to episode 1 or check out my website at itsonlyhomeschooling.com. In episode 8, we talked about poverty awareness, shared our family's outreach project of collecting gently used braces to support impoverished families in Guatemala, and introduced you to Hearts in Motion, a nonprofit service organization that has been serving children and families in the U.S. and Central and South America for over 30 years. We revealed the history of how Hearts in Motion came to be through the tireless efforts of founder Karen Sharingapara. We learned about the many programs of Hearts in Motion. We also interviewed Mission Trip Director Erin Frazita and learned that service can come in many forms. Today, in episode 9 of our podcast, we continue with part 2 of our interview with Mr. Frazita. We also have a special guest appearance from IOH Kid J. Listen in as we learn more about walking in obedience and embracing a servant's heart. In our Salt and Light series, our Salt and Light Spotlight series, our goal is to pretty much shine a light on other outreach organizations so that we can bring awareness to all the good works that you're doing and hopefully encourage other families, whether they're homeschool, public school, private school, or somewhere in between, to be involved and support you in your efforts. So what are some ways, either individual or group or both, that families can support you in the work that you do?
Absolutely. So, obviously, the bit obvious one is going on a trip, but not everybody's able to do that. And so, individually, there's some really creative ways that people help to support our agency. One is doing things like you're doing, collecting braces. We always need braces. We always need wheelchairs. We always need prosthetics. Things like that can always be donated. Those are fantastic. Doing drives for things like school supplies. Throwing one of my favorite stories is we had a young person, I think he was about 7 or 8 at the time. His mom went on a trip with us and came back, and she kind of shared what was happening in Guatemala. And he decided that every year from then on, he was going to throw, for his birthday party, he was going to ask everybody to bring toys for our nutrition center for the kids who were there and our daycare. And so he did that for many, many, many years. So collecting toys, things like that, and then getting them up to our headquarters in Cherryville, Indiana, is fantastic. We've had folks who have done diaper parties or baby showers, and then donated those products to us as well to be able to use, because that's a big expense, as you can imagine, with having the nutrition center and the number of kids that go through there. As a group, coming together, one of my favorite projects is building a house. And believe it or not, for $3,750, we can build a house for a family. So they get a house. They get a brand new fuel-efficient cooking stove that also vents the smoke up, because one of the issues they have all the time from cooking on fires is some lung and respiratory issues. So it kind of helps to deviate that. And then they also get an outhouse structure to go around their spot where they use the restroom. So that's very much a doable project that we've had lots of groups do. As a family, it could be sponsoring a child. We have 2 different options for sponsorship. One is a $15 a month option that does a weekly feed program. So the local kids in Rolon can sign up and they come through our weekly feed program. The other is our school sponsorship program, where the students get their uniforms, their school supplies, their shoes, all that good stuff to be able to go to school there in the community of Pueblo Modelo. In both of those programs together, it's about 350 kids that we help to sponsor. So it's a really big program, and our person who's in charge of that, Drea, does an amazing job with that program. So school sponsorship is definitely a great thing. Doing a collection, if there's a community, even monetary collection, we always have things come up, and that's one of the things with the work that we do down there. We like to try and be proactive, but so much is reactive. Our firefighter program happened because we came upon a wreck where a semi had overturned on a car, and they had no equipment to get to the folks who were under the car. So Karen, who's our founder, said, we got to do something about this. We got to figure this out. So we started a fireman training program and a program to get tools for the firemen down there. School supplies as well is always a great thing to do a drive for. The school that I worked at here in Kentucky, we actually, at the end of the year, when students were cleaning out their desks, would put out boxes and say, hey, anything that you're not going to take with you that's still new or new-ish, put it in that box. We'll take it with us. And we would get boxes full of supplies at the end of the year, because so often kids have, numerous boxes of crayons or colored pencils or things, and they didn't use them. So they just would go in that box, and we'd take them down with us every summer when we went. So lots of ways to get involved for sure. And then, being a person of faith, prayer support is always obviously a great thing to have as well. So the last thing that I would say is doing things like this, inviting folks out. I'm always happy to come speak to folks virtually or in person. I know our founder, Karen, does the same thing in her area. And so we kind of are able to make those connections that way and just share the message of what we've seen and tell stories. I love stories. We're getting ready to start a podcast, actually, of the stories of Hearts in Motion. And it's just going to be, yeah, so it's just going to be, the stories of things that we've experienced down there. Because I think when you hear those stories, it's hard to ignore the things going on. So lots of ways to help.
It personalizes it, and we relate to one another through stories. Mm-hmm. That is how we endear ourselves to one another. So I'm very excited for that podcast. I'm always looking for new and different podcasts that are inspiring to listen to. So that one, I will look for it, and I cannot wait to find it and listen to it. We're very excited to hear about that new development. I also have a special guest with me here today. I have IOH Kid J.
Hi.
Hi.
He has a few questions that he would like to ask you about Hearts in Motion and mission trips and helping others. All right, Kid, you're on.
Okay, I have 3 questions.
Shoot.
How long has HIM been around?
So Hearts in Motion officially has been around since 1990. It's when we were incorporated. But our founder, Karen, actually had been going and taking doctors down to Guatemala before that. But officially since 1990.
1990.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, question number 2.
I'll put you on the spot and ask you how many years that is.
I thought you said it was 22. 32. Oops. Okay, question number 2. How many kids have you helped?
Oh my goodness, that's a really good question, and I wish I knew the exact answer, but I can tell you that it was definitely in the thousands. When you start looking at things like kids who have gone through the schools that we've helped build and kids who have been through the daycare and things like that, it's definitely thousands and thousands of kids.
Okay, so in the thousands somewhere. Cool. Okay, question number 3. What is your favorite story about, what would you call that?
Maybe
helping, children and families?
Sure, and the work that he's done?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I'll tell you 2 of my favorite stories. The first one is just a funny story, and that is that language is really important. So we were sitting one night at the hotel after we'd had a hard day of work, and one of my high school students is sitting there, and they put this glass of wine in front of her. And I just looked at her and I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Well, I thought I asked for watermelon." And I said, "What word did you use?" And she said, "Sangria." And I said, No, Allison, sangria is wine. Sandia is watermelon. And so we all had a good laugh about that one. But my true favorite story is of a family whose dad's name is Nettie. And Nettie and I worked together a long time, and he was very stoic. So he was very serious kind of all the time when we worked. A very hard worker, really super nice, but never kind of, would smile, but not a lot. And he asked us one day, he said, "Can you come to my house and just see if you can help my son?" My son fell and hit the fire pit, and he got some burns. And so we said, absolutely. So we go to Nettie's house, and we meet his son, Mateo, who is just a delight, but has a disease where his muscles are starting to deteriorate. The older he gets, the weaker he gets. And so he had accidentally tripped and fallen. And Nettie said, "Can you do something?" And we said, yes. So we immediately the next day built a concrete pad where he could walk safely because it was nice and smooth and safe. And then the next trip down there, we came back and fundraised, and we built their family a house. And Nettie, who was very stoic, at the end of things, asked if he could talk to the group. And I said, absolutely, 100%, anything you want to say, Nettie. And he started tearing up, and he said, "My kids have always asked me when we're going to have a house that's safe from the rain. And today I can finally say that we do." And it broke my heart in a very good way, and it made me cry, and it still gets me a little teary. I had to think
We're
about,
holding hands right now.
yeah,
You can't.
yeah. And it's stories like that, and I've got, gosh, a lot of those types of stories, but that make everything we do, all the miles we travel down there, all the loads of mixing concrete by hand and slinging cinder block around and all that good stuff. We build cinder block homes down there because they have termites and wood isn't easy to find. So everything is out of cinder block, which is strong and safe and sturdy. That'll go through earthquakes, and so it makes all those hot days working out in the sun worth it when you just get one of those small moments. And like I said, I know I have lots of them. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good question. Do you have any other questions come up?
No, I only had those three.
Okay.
Only those three?
Only those three.
That's okay.
Wait a second, it looks like we have a special visit from our mascot. Ollie. You probably know him from Books and Bricks.
That is his virtual book club.
Awesome.
Not facing the camera, dude.
Yes.
Face the camera, Ollie.
Thank you, Ollie. We'll check in with you later.
Oh wait, look, he looks like he has something to show us here. He's fancy for the occasion.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a top hat.
Very fancy.
Thank you, Ollie. We'll check in with you later. Well, Mr. Aaron, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat with us today, to let us know more about Hearts in Motion, to share the ways that we can help, to share your personal experiences with the many families and children that you have helped over the years, and even your personal anecdotes. In closing, is there anything else that we haven't asked that you think we need to know about, or that you would like to share, or anything you would like to leave us with, any upcoming special events or anything going on with Mission Trips?
Yeah. So thank you for having me. I love being here with you all. I think the biggest thing is to just not think that you have to go on the trip to make a difference. You can make a difference where you are, even for the lives of those in Guatemala. It really is all about the relationships, and it's one of the things that I love about my jobs. One of my favorite college professors always said that the walls we paint are going to need to be repainted. Things we build are eventually going to fall down, but those relationships that we build are going to last forever. And so I love building relationships with new folks and finding ways that we can connect people. So if folks are wanting to get involved, feel free to give me an email. It's super easy, aaron@heartsinmotion.org. And we'd love to have you involved with our work that we do down in Guatemala and here in the United States.
Well, thank you so much. And may the Lord bless you and keep you and cover your work with comfort and prosperity. And thank you so much for your time. And we look forward to continue working with Hearts in Motion, collecting more orthotics and sending them to you. Thank you so much for teaching us about poverty awareness and outreach and how we can help be a part of our local community and a community bigger than ourselves. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye. That's
Bye.
just IOH Kids and bye.
Bye. Want to learn more? Hearts in Motion is a multifaceted ministry dedicated to serving others in the U.S., Central, and South America. With its vast achievements and over 30 years of experience being the hands and feet of Christ, narrowing down its astonishing accomplishments to a single podcast episode, or 2, or even 10, would fail to convey the magnitude of its efforts adequately. Among its numerous outreach efforts, the ministry recently launched its latest community assistance project, the New Directions Program. The New Directions Program helps Northwest Indiana families transitioning out of domestic violence shelters, homeless shelters, or families impacted by house fires. To learn more about this amazing program, check out their website at heartsinmotion.org. To listen to founder Karen's Sharinga Para's interview with NPR Lakeshore Public Radio regarding the launch of the New Directions program, check out their website. Our Homeschool Families project of collecting gently used braces to send to Hearts in Motion is merely one drop of water in an ocean of need. In moments of overwhelm, I can easily view my own attempts as marginal at best and insufficient at worst. Yet I was gently reminded during our family's interview with Mr. Frazita that I too must be able to receive grace as well as give it. Service does not have to look like the grand gestures you have seen us highlight in our Salt and Light Spotlight series. Outreach can come in many forms. The smallest gesture of kindness can carry the greatest weight. Looking for ways you can help? There are numerous ways to support the ministry at Hearts in Motion. If you live in the Schererville, Indiana area, consider volunteering to work in the resale shop. Or cull gently used items of household furniture, clothing, and household goods for donation to support the New Directions program. You can support Hearts in Motion with a click of your mouse. Purchase crucial needed items from their wish lists. Buy Hearts in Motion merchandise in its online store. Or offer monetary donations or sponsorship to support one of its many programs. Want to travel and help others in the process? Consider participating in its international impact by embarking on one of its mission trips. For more information on how to become a part of their mission outreach, check out their website at heartsinmotion.org. Want to learn more about how to ignite a passion for outreach in your homeschool? Check out our blog posts from the month of January. During Poverty Awareness Month, we examine some of the barriers that block Christians from serving, explore reasons it's important to teach about serving others, and, coming soon, we're going to share steps for cultivating a servant's heart in your home. Thank you for joining us for the Salt and Light Spotlight. Tune in to us on Podbean, YouTube, or visit our website at itsonlyhomeschooling.com to listen. With the It's Only Homeschooling podcast, we invite your family to join ours for life lessons beyond the classroom. We hope you'll make us one of your regular stops along the way in your journey. And remember, education is a journey, not a destination. Until we meet again, take a deep breath and relax. It's only homeschooling.
The pine tree